Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us today. We realize that time is valuable, and so we appreciate you taking an hour out of your day this afternoon to speak with us. My name is Curtis Hawks. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and we've got a very special guest on the call with us today. His name is Jim Chilton. He's the founder and CEO of the Society of Financial Awareness. And the reason we're doing the call today is, as many of you know, IAMS is dedicated to making sure that we're getting you the tools and resources that you need to be successful in your business. And so we are always on the lookout for different ideas, strategies, etc., that we think could make a lot of sense to help grow our advisors' business and really help them thrive. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of the presentation, I did want to spend a couple of minutes talking a little bit about some of the additional ways that IAMS can help support your business. So as many of you are well aware, and many of you are using right now, we've got a couple of different business building programs. One is our marketing reimbursement. And so for every $100,000 of annuity production that you do with us, you'll accrue an additional $100 of marketing reimbursement. We will use that and match you dollar for dollar on your advertising. So it's a great way to significantly increase your marketing budget. In addition to that, we also have our referred producer program, which is, the reality is, probably where some of the biggest checks are that we cut. But it's a great opportunity to not only get a cash incentive for referring someone over to us, but you get an ongoing bonus on their production as they're doing business with us. You don't have to do anything to support that advisor. We'll take care of all of that. But both programs are great opportunities to generate additional revenue into your company. In addition to that, we've got our new producer builders. Again, we work with a lot of advisors all over the country, and we know that when we have advisors come to us, they're all unique. Different areas of the country, different target markets, different stages of their career, all those types of things. And so one of the things that we want to do is build out a robust platform so that no matter where you're at, we can meet you where you're at and help you achieve your objectives. And so there's a variety of options on here. And one of the things I would tell you, if you are a new producer or considering being a new producer with IAMS, give us a call, 800-255-5055. Speak with one of the sales directors. They'll walk you through this and talk about what options might make the most sense for you. In addition to that, if you're doing something that's working well for you that you really like, we're more than willing to participate with you on that on a cash equivalent basis. Back office support. And I know every IMO says they've got great back office support. What I can tell you is here at IAMS, that has been a core foundation of who we are for over 30 years. And so if you're not currently using our back office support, I would encourage you to do it. Everything from case design to new business to commission. You have a dedicated team, a dedicated staff here to help support your business. To that end, one of the things that we've embraced is technology, obviously, over the years. And so we've built out and aligned ourselves with a number of platforms to make sure that you have the best resources available. Obviously, in this day and age, as all advisors have had to convert portions or all of their business to virtual, e-applications have become critically important. And so we do have a integration with Firelight on our website, and we also have iPipeline as well. So if you're wanting to do e-applications, you can simply and easily utilize our site to do your e-app submissions, and then our new business team will follow up on those. In addition to that, we have, in my opinion, one of the best creative teams in the country. Whether you're talking print, digital, social, video, if you need content and you need a copywriter, we've got all of that. And so what you'll find with our team is that we can do a couple of different things. One, we can help enhance and build out your brand. And then secondly, we can make sure that that narrative is spread throughout your community in your local geographic area. And so not only does the team do a ton of custom work for our advisors, but the other thing I would mention to all of you is that we spend a significant amount of time, energy, and effort in getting the right marketing packages out to our advisors. So just here in the last few weeks, We've rolled out our policy review package. We rolled out a 401k rollover package designed around individuals in transition. Here most recently, we've rolled out our annuity awareness package. Many of you have accessed those already and are using them in your business. If you haven't downloaded those yet, to use those, and they include prospecting materials, point of sale pieces, consumer facing pieces, etc., give us a call, 800-255-5055. Speak with one of the sales directors. They can make sure that they get that out to you. I will also mention as well, and we've been working very diligently on this and we're very excited about it, but we have a great Avoid the Summer Slump marketing package that's going to roll out next week. And there are over 30 low or no cost ideas in that package that you can implement immediately in your business to generate additional prospects. As I mentioned technology earlier with Firelight, our website, we spent a significant amount of energy and effort into developing that into a very good resource for our advisors. Whether you want to quote live for annuity business, you want to get rates, you want to do e-applications, we've got all of that on there. In addition to that, we've got a significant amount of material on marketing tips, best practices, etc. And we also have our virtual sales resource library, which is literally hundreds of consumer-facing pieces that you can utilize in your practice. And it goes from end to end. If you want life and annuity basics, we have that. If you want to talk about split dollar and trust, we have that information on there as well. If you're licensed with us or you're not licensed and you don't have you're not registered on the site, give us a call, talk to a sales director. They'll be able to get you set up on that and get you access to it. Another point I want to make on the website as well, and again, something that we're very excited about and we've been working on for the last several months, is in the third quarter, we are going to be rolling out an enhancement to our sales library, and we're going to have a whole package of additional consumer-facing pieces that you can utilize for advertising, marketing, business, etc. Retirement Analyzer. I know there's a lot of software platforms out there. I think we all recognize at this stage of the year that the ability to articulate concepts and ideas via video conferencing is critically important. And one of the best ways to do that is software. And I think one of the core selling points on this platform is it can take a lot of advanced ideas and concepts that you incorporate into your planning, and it can articulate those in a very simple, straightforward, easy to understand format for the consumer. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't looked at Retirement Analyzer before, definitely check it out. Give one of the sales directors a call and chat with them about it. And here's the other great thing about it too, probably the best part. If you're an IAMS agent, we'll pay for it. You get it for free. So definitely reach out to a sales director and chat with them about that. Another thing that we've seen, really over the last decade is a transition in the advisor space. You have more and more advisors that are getting securities licensed, that are becoming IARs to expand out their offerings with their business. So if that's an area that you're interested in, or if you are an IAR already and just maybe not quite happy where you're at, give us a call. Talk to Charles and his team. We've got a very competitive platform. We've got great service, competitive compensation, but I would encourage you, now, there's never been a better time to look at doing that as there is right now. As I'd mentioned to you, IAMS is very dedicated to providing the tools and resources our advisors need, whether it's a simple phone call from a sales director with an idea or to the webinar that we're doing today. But on top of that, one of the things that we do are our life and annuity academies. And so often we are stuck in the minutia of the day-to-day to where we're just constantly working in our business. And our life and annuity academies are a great opportunity. They're a great opportunity for advisors to take a couple days away and really focus on their business. Not only will you walk away from our academy with a lot of great ideas, tools, tips, you'll get to hear from top advisors all over the country. And then probably one of the most important things is being in a room with 40 or 50 of your peers, being able to share ideas, talk experiences. There's really just no substitute, no way to recreate that other than doing these types of events. So obviously with COVID this year, that's impacted our calendar We are going to be scheduling some of these events in the future, so I would encourage you, if you have interest in these, reach out, speak with your sales director, and they can chat with you about that and make sure that we get you on the list. In addition to that, I did want to remind everyone on a couple of our incentive trips, the March 7th through the 11th in Puerto Vallarta. We've got the Paradise on the Pacific at a Secrets Resort. I can tell you it's very high end, very nice resort. I also want to remind everybody that the qualification period runs through the end of this year, so you still got time to qualify. For those of you that have already qualified for this, I want to remind everybody that there is a second leg to this journey, March 11th through the 14th in Punta Mita, at, again, a very high-end, very exclusive resort. For both of these, you can bring it's yourself and you can bring your spouse. But it's just, at the end of the day, a great opportunity to get away, have an amazing experience, get to spend time with your peers as well as your team over here at IAMS that works very diligently to support you. So as I mentioned earlier in the call, we want to make sure we're bringing the best tools and resources to you to help you with your business. And one of the ways that we do that is going and partnering with different firms throughout the country where we feel like there's a significant amount of value. And so Jim will go into his program in detail, but I think really what you're going to see from this is a great way to get in front of businesses. It's a great way to get in front of employees. And more importantly, when we talk about this new normal, there's been a lot of talk about the new normal and what's going to happen. One of the key things that IAMS recognizes and sees is that marketing is shifting. The way that you marketed pre-COVID to the way that you do now is going to evolve. And one of the ways that it's going to evolve is having more marketing strategies. Many advisors rely predominantly on one sole core marketing activity, and you can have a lot of success with that. But there's going to be a need to have a more robust marketing wheel and having multiple different activities that you're incorporating within your practice to generate a consistent flow of prospects. So with that, Jim, I'll let you go ahead and take it from here, and appreciate having you on the call today.
Well, thank you, Curtis. And I want to thank all the folks that have came on today. I think not only are you going to enjoy this, but I think very importantly, you're going to see how SOFA can transform not only your prospecting activity, but will dramatically change your identity. And, you know, Curtis, these things you're talking about are very cutting edge. But what I want you guys to receive, and when we finish the call, again, I'm going to talk throughout, is this idea. And for those of you that are taking notes, we transform you guys to public educators. So let me tell you a little bit about SOFA. We're a 501c3, we're nonprofit. We are an educational speakers bureau. Now, there's a lot of 501s. Okay, the one that I felt was hand in glove when we created this is the Public Benefit Corporation, because what SOFA does, it's all about altruism. It's an educational, it's not a platform of selling. We've got an incredible track record of 27 years of holding within our bandwidth, staying in our lane of exactly what we do. And it's about financial literacy. And we are the largest nonprofit of that in the country. Now, our membership is comprised of financial advisors, insurance agents, accountants, estate planning attorneys, health and wellness professionals, mortgage brokers, and realtors. Now, all of these folks position themselves through their knowledge and what they do as public educators, and they position themselves through their natural market of giving back. You see, as we as salespeople and have learned through the dinner seminars, we're profit-seeking marketeers, bribing the public, getting across what we're going to sell. Usually, long-term care, life insurance, a lot of annuities of doing that. And this is not that platform at all. Over your first year with us, we work in developing this group of people that you see, so you and these others start to form a team. Okay. And think about that. So many of us in our careers have wanted to be independent. That's where we have the evolution of the IMOs and FMOs. However, what I want you to understand is being a lone wolf, you do a lot of the work. When you form a team with these other individuals, they become SOFA members and they keep you hopping like you do with them. So this incredible exposure that goes on in the community with your teammates is really cool because it generates a lot of activities. Now, we have four primary places, venues, if you will, that we speak at. We companies, places of worship, unions, or organizations. As Curtis says, we're moving more and more toward virtual workshops. Our organization pivoted in one day to be able, we had a program called Online Pivot, right on, and we brought in technology and shared how to do it. And our organization didn't miss a beat. We kept doing it. And virtual, I just want to tell, for those of you that have not truly experienced it and somehow are missing the game sitting out, and I hope that's not true, it's easy. It's an easy transition. Think about this. You're the same presenter, but you're just not face to face in person. Same message of what you would do in person, but now you're doing it virtually. You've got the same audience, but there's an incredible benefit in a company when you're working through the decision maker, which is the HR department. And a lot of times it's it's the specific, I should say, excuse me, of the human resource person that gave you permission to come in to do your workshop. You start building a close relationship with them, and that will help you. And in a minute, I'll get into how that specifically works. But one of the neat things that I saw that Curtis put up on there is all of their departments that IAMS provides. So I'm absolutely certain for those of you that might be a little intimidated or embarrassed to ask how to do Zoom and this, it's cake. Okay, it's easy. Our identity. Now, let me really get into this. The biggest thing that SOFA has ever done was to make the pivot. Instead of taking an estate planning attorney and it's the estate planning attorney and it's the estate planning attorney with all the estate planning knowledge, instead of that, we took a very unconventional approach to creating all of our people in the identity through being a public educator. And we do that through obviously messaging, SOFA branding, and identifying that individual not as their profession per se, but as the messenger of the content that they want to get across to people. Surely we explain we're a financial advisor, we're an accountant, we're a realtor or a mortgage broker. But what we're really doing is we are hosting an event, co-hosting with that venue, that place of worship, organization, union, or company. But we're doing it as a member of SOFA, not representing what I do, the services I provide, and so forth. As I said, we do not at those workshops promote their products, your services, your firm. We're not there to sell anything. The biggest thing we're there to do is position ourselves that this is pure altruism. We're giving back in the community. And most importantly, we are separating and differentiating ourselves from our competitors. Okay. So it's really important to understand that. So, Jim, where do I get a chance to talk about my business, my firm, the services that I offer, and the products? Easy. When you pick up the program evaluation that they want to meet with you and they come to your office and you answer all of their questions from the workshop, that is where you make the pivot going into what you're doing to make a living. Okay. What we do in our workshops is provide tactical, practical, generic, non-proprietary information. Now, let's get into those two words of generic and non-proprietary. I would venture to guess that over half of the companies in America that offer a 401k, tax sheltered annuity, 403b, 457 deferred comp, any kind of defined contribution are in some way violating the Department of Labor's 404C. So let me give an example. Sally comes in a quarterly meeting. She works at Fidelity. So just before COVID, she's having her workshop and she's saying, you know, there's a lot of chatter out there, and maybe it's a good time right now to get out of growth stocks and get into bonds. So the employees take note of that. They go back to their desk, they go online, they execute a trade. That advice by the Department of Labor says Sally is selling. Those people executed a trade based on her sales advice. So what I want you to understand, when I beta tested this, oh my gosh, a million years ago in 1992, that was one of the very first things that I realized, that these people didn't know anything about 404C. And when I was pointing out that our information is 100% generic, it's non-proprietary. We're not promoting the sale of the product nor the company, but it's tactical and practical. They loved it. We as well, in our workshops, don't go back to the old Emerald methodology where the advisor is everything. Okay, from the accountant to the financial guy to the insurance agent to the retirement specialist to the mortgage broker to the real. We align our messaging to the discipline of the presenter. Our presentations are put on. If you're going to have a tax talk, unless you're an accountant, you're not doing it. So that's one of the reasons why we create teams in your first year, to create exponential prospecting as well as knowledge through your team. And again, altruism is what we do. It's giving back. You know, I meet a lot of guys on the phone and talk to a lot of people through these 27 years about how great the mail program is because they're doing 2 or 3%. And I say, so what you're telling me is 97, 98% of your cost is, it's not successful. We average a 60 to 65% positive response. Our members who absolutely follow our training and coaching can get it up as high as 85% in the room. Our average workshop usually is around 45 minutes to an hour. We somewhere average around 20 people. We've had workshops at colleges and universities where we've had, well over 100 people. We have 35 compliance approved presentations, and we generate interest. Now, what I want to do is go a little bit beyond what you're looking at. I want to go over something that I think, as we're getting so technology savvy, we're missing a very important principle. And I feel at 66 and 40 years on August 1st in my profession, I have the right to be able to give my opinion. I believe in the 3-step sales process. Now, let me go to step 3, the end of the movie. You got a client, you made a sale, you generated revenue, and you increased your ROI. Okay, that's what everybody wants. To go back a step, you can't make that sale to get appointments. And many advisors put all of their time in knowledge and learning, and I get it. And I think it's great. When we're green, we're growing. When we're ripe, we're rotting. I get all that. However, I can't tell you the amount of people that I have met, advisors, with an incredible alphabet soup after their name and they're broke because they don't focus on step 1. And that is creating interest, generating interest, activities that are generating interest to the people we're talking to. And there's no better way in doing that to get an increase in an immediate response than by doing workshops. In our workshops, as you can start to see, are generic, they're informational, we don't charge, we don't give them stakes, we don't do any of that. And they work very, very well. Now, talk about how do we get off to a quick start? Everybody likes to start fast. Why? How do we do it? It's very simple. We don't promote cold marketing. We do not promote cold marketing at SOFA. We spend our time with our advisors, with our attorneys, our accountants, and all of our members to use their natural market. And here's why. It's a time. If I go to people that I know who already love me, know me, trust me, they look up to me, they know I'm a reliable guy, okay, no BS, I'm good at what I do, of course they want to help me. So all I have to do is let them know that not only am I a financial advisor for 40 years of doing it, but I'm also a member of a nonprofit educational speakers bureau. And they open the door. Look at that bottom part there. They introduce me and you to the HR of where they work. They introduce me to their pastor, their rabbi, their priest of where they worship. Okay, if they belong to something, there's an event coordinator, the program coordinator, the chapter president, whatever it is, wherever they belong. If they're in a union, they introduce us to their local union leader. When you get introductions, which we call nominations, direct to decision makers, those decision makers, they don't want the word to get back to the nominator that they blew us off. So guess what they do? They take a side, they look at that nominator, they say, have her call me, have him call me. And then we go in and do a 15-minute meeting explaining SOFA, its purpose, its process, and its payoff. And by doing that and following the expectations of our training, we get our people off to a fast start. Now, does everybody get off to a fast start? Not at all, because they wanted the results of SOFA, but they didn't want to stop, pause, and learn how to do SOFA. Where we've been. Wow, I feel like the little guy when somebody talks about my children and I unfold my wallet and everything falls out of my 5 kids and my 5 grandkids. And I mean, I'm very, very proud. We are at places that many people will give their teeth to get into. And in a minute, I'm going to show you one of our techniques. But I mean, I want you to look at that. Sony, Disney, Lockheed Martin, the IRS, the FBI, Northrop Grumman, Catholic Charities, Major League Baseball, local Rotaries, federal employees. We have a tremendous presence on the East Coast and up in Oregon where we're doing almost every organization in the government. We're doing Procter and Gamble, the National Guard. For those of you that ever tried to get in the military, you know you can't get in as a salesman. But boy, try getting in as a public educator through a nonprofit. And that brings me up to a real good point. I've talked to HRs across the country that find the quickest way to find a wolf in sheep's clothing is to have a salesperson say that the presentation they're going to be a public educator, and then they give them their credential card, or they look up the person, they vet them out through social media or whatever, and or they go on their particular website and it's sell, product. We encourage our SOFA members to take on their own customized SOFA website. It's called MWebs, members website. So when they go in, not only are they representing SOFA as a member, but their SOFA card has their own SOFA customized website. So it's really important that you guys understand you align yourself outside of your office when you're out there to create and generate interest and get leads, which leads to appointments, that during those appointments, that is when they really learn of your services. Many very successful guys will call me and just cut right to the chase. Jim, what's the secret sauce? Just tell me that. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I remind them they haven't done SOFA for 30 seconds. So I got to get through that. But the big thing is we have two ingredients that really make a difference. You have joined a non-profit. Okay? Just nonprofit is the absolute difference, okay, from a profitable venture. And everything we do to represent that altruism is reinforced through our training, our branding, our messaging, and creating your identity as a SOFA member. The second thing is the continuum. It's a very simple step-by-step process that you do every day, and it positions you to get into places to speak. Now, our training and coaching is not difficult. In fact, I would say it's almost like riding a bicycle. Once you know how to do it, you're off to the races. However, one of the challenges that I've always had are veteran agents that have put their ego and the history of their success somehow into the mix, and they fail miserably because on step 2, they don't follow the steps that they're supposed to. So the shortcutters are out of here quickly, and the people that really understand what's in store for them, like Curtis said, an incredible new way to position yourself in your community, separating yourself, differentiating yourself from your competitors is what SOFA does. Okay, excuse me. Opportunity. Opportunity is a marketing platform. I think now we're at 17 different ideas. Think of it this way. They're accessories. One of the examples I use that most people understand very quickly is in San Diego, we have a lot of Hispanic landscapers and gardeners. I mean, they're just everywhere. And when I'm on my bike and I come up to a red light, invariably before I'm done with my ride, I've seen at least 6 of these trucks come up. And it dawned on me one day that these guys just don't have a lawnmower in the back of their truck. They've got a weed eater, they've got a blower, they got rakes, they got shovels, saws, hammers, hedge trimmers, brooms, you name it, they got everything in there. So when they show up, they can do all the things that's necessary to solve the issue of the homeowner in his property outside the house. Well, that was what we took on. I'm going to share with you right here under CE Sherm our absolute number one accessory that our members have embraced, and it's incredible. SHRM is the Society of Human Resource Management. It's the largest HR organization in the world. They have over 330,000 members. For the last 4 years, when we've gone to their national conference, we walk out of there in 3 days with about 800 to 900 inquiries wanting to know more about SOFA, wanting to know how SOFA can help solve their 404C, knowing how they can help their employee engagement, and that's fine. In your training program, we teach you how to get into companies through your natural market. But let me talk about the HR person. The HR person at SHRM is no different than a military individual seeking the next stripe on their uniform or their next medal to be awarded or their next pay raise through a higher pay grade. This is not a sexist statement, but these ladies, because the absolute majority of SHRM are women. I mean, it's just the way it is. Now, these ladies have a carrot that they chase from the minute they join SHRM. They have a 3-year running average of getting 60 continuing education credits. Those credits in SHRM speak are PDCs, professional development credits. Those folks have to go to courses taught by people that have been certified to teach through SHRM. And those teachers are called recertification providers. We earned ours a year and a half ago, and now our members have the ability to bring those HRs from the relationships that they build, ask them, how are you doing, Sally, on your PDCs, and hold 2, 3, and 4 unit courses in one day. So I want you to imagine you're at a company in a conference room, and Sally, the lady that you've done workshops with or you've met from somehow, some way, maybe someone in your natural market nominated you to meet with her. She loved the idea that you teach, and she calls up her lady friends in the same place in the community, and they all come to her company, and you're sitting there putting on a 2 or 3 or 4 hour course. And then at the end of that course, you're giving them the code for their credits. And the program evaluation of one question says, would you like me to come over to your company and meet with you and go over the various programs that we can provide to enhance your employee engagement? I have to tell you, it's the greatest way to get in to companies. Okay, not only are you a member of a nonprofit, but you now realize that the membership is part of a national membership SOFA has over a decade with SHRM, and our members then have been approved to be recertification providers. Next program is called VidDrop. I'm getting old. I still send out probably 3 to 5 notes a week to people that I've met, people that I've chatted with. Thank you very much, Harry. I enjoyed meeting you. Thank you for taking a moment to listen about SOFA, whatever it is. We've taken probably a dozen topics, put them in a 3-minute high definition video, and we put that video, we drop it into our emails and send out that message. And, I've sent them to Curtis. I've sent them to people all over the United States. Our members get these vid drops. They use them. It explains about SOFA. It talks about HRs. It talks about federal employees, Social Security, you name it. We got some incredible topics. The last one that I'm going to use as an example. Now, remember, these are only 3 of 17. Okay. And that is the marketeer. And the marketeer is for that individual advisor who, like it or not, has become an office hermit. They're extremely busy, they're extremely successful, and they don't have the time to do SOFA right. So what we do there is they provide us one of their employees, Diana, my director of membership, okay, business development. We take that individual in to SOFA. We do all the training. We manage them. We work with them. We hold them accountable, and they're working for you. So again, those are three simple examples. Ascension, that's our training and coaching program. We've designed it where you read it, you get to watch it, you get to listen to it. So we have written word, videos, podcasts, and then once that is done, you then have the opportunity to get in to my coaching program, and that's a one-on-one type deal. And this is all included in your dues. Or what I'm starting to do is when I work with a specific IMO or an insurance company or a broker dealer, and people come in as a group, I do a lot of group coaching on there. And it's good. But like I said, it's not hard, but it's very specific of what to do. Curtis talked about branding. And I have to tell you, I've never sat through any of what Curtis has just showed today, but it was very clear that the branding of IAMS is first class. And I think in your for-profit side of your business, you're nuts if you don't take advantage of it. But you know what? As a member of SOFA, if you take a look at this stuff, we have, and we also use a QR code on everything. And we can put that QR code on cards, tablecloths, three folds, whatever you want. And guess what it does? It goes right to one of our vid drops about the message that you want to get across to that listening ear or that eye that wants to see what you do. But we do all the branding. It ties in again with the big three: branding, messaging, and the identity of you as a public educator. Now, many times I have the pleasure of introducing SOFA to specific individuals that have done the dinner workshop, the plate liquor circuit, if you will. And one of the things that I want to get across to you, I think it's very, very important, is that with SOFA, you're the guest. So if I invited you to a party at my house, I hope you wouldn't think that you'd need to stop at the ATM and get money that I'm going to charge you. It's the same way with SOFA. We allow the people that we're speaking at, companies, unions, places of worship, organizations, we're the invited guest. They produce the room. They do the marketing to their members, to their employees, to their congregants. They do that. We don't. So we don't have all of those costs for the room, the mailers, the food, the telemarketers. I talk to guys that drop $8,000 to $12,000 to put on one of those deals, which I call pay and pray. They pray that they're going to get their money back. Okay, you don't need to do that. Now, you can do both, but with a SOFA workshop, it's totally different because, again, we're not selling, we're not charging, we're not providing them steaks, we're not doing any of that. But by doing it our way, your costs are nominal on there. I think that's very, very important for you. Mailers. When you're a SOFA member, if you want to use our postage program, we're a 501c3. Think about that. Add up your costs for you guys that are out there that are mailing and see what you've spent. Take a third of that off, and that's what you would have saved as a SOFA member. So we have some really good branded mail pieces. We work with mail houses all over the country, and the discount is really, really good. Our dues. Right now, we have just entered into our season pricing for the summer. Okay. And those dues up there of 2,000 as a preferred partner of IAMS is correct, but they're not applicable for June, July, and through up till Labor Day. Okay. We have dropped those by $500. We normally charge you guys $2,500 a year. So it's going to be $1,500, and you can thank Curtis and IAMS for doing that. Now, one of the things that I like to go into is to point out a couple of things. First of all, these are a business expense, so they're eligible for your Schedule C. So you're going to deduct them. Okay. The second thing is, and I love to say this with people face to face because they start smiling. I say, Tommy, do you know your numbers? What are you talking about? Your numbers. How many, on the average, how many scheduled appointments come in and see you a week? And I get a number. He's usually lying, but I get a number. Okay, of those scheduled, how many are you averaging seeing in that week? And I get a little bit lower number. Okay, of your seen appointments, what's your closing ratio? And they usually tell me what that is. Okay. What is your average commission or fee or revenue that is generated by your average client? And they know that number. And then we multiply it by their ratio of their seen appointments. I go, do you think you're only going to do one workshop with SOFA? That one workshop, if you do everything the way we train you to do it, you're going to get the leads. You'll use your actual numbers. And guess what? You'll have paid that off. Now what? You've got the entire rest of the year for pure profit of doing as many workshops as you and your natural market can get you in to do, and so forth. So I really want you to understand this is a tremendously value priced thing. Compliance. I believe when I talk to great guys like Curtis and many other industry leaders, they always ask me about how are we doing in compliance. I say it's very easy. We have them sign the bylaws. Everything is strictly enforced. Do you know in 27 years, we've had 2 formal complaints? I mean, real complaints. And those 2 members were thrown out of SOFA within the week after we did an investigation and it was confirmed that they were caught selling. We just don't have those problems because our members, and they reinforce we're doing the right lane because they renew every year. Okay, we have bylaws that you read and sign. We enforce them. We expect you to read them, honor them, and pledge your name and your credibility and your honor of complying with these. And let me tell you something. When we go into that 15-minute meeting with the HR, let's say, or the church or the union or whatever, we bring that up and we show them the bylaws. Let me tell you, you talk about a deal closer, cementing the trust right up front, instead of hoping it's not a bait and switch, hoping these guys are not a wolf in sheep's clothing. They see that we really walk our talk and demand that from them. To join, and we just hope you do. I mean, we would love to work with you and meet with you, find out exactly what your needs are. Rochelle Wolf at this phone number you've got posted and the email on there, she'll answer all of your questions. You know, I also thought about this, that if you want to, Curtis has the marketers. he has his own marketers, and they're not ignorant of SOFA at all. They have been brought up to speed of who we are, our purpose, our process, the payoff to you of all the benefits that you can get in growing your practice. And if you feel more comfortable that you want to go through them first, that's fine. But again, I've given you Rochelle's number, 858-268-7092. And, we'll be happy to sign you up and go from there. Now, I want to leave you with a thought before I thank you. I really want you to think about this. I've been saying this now for a while, and I really want to repeat it. There is such an incredible irony between financial advisors that sell annuities and the reality of the customer to themselves. And let me tell you what it is. I sell Curtis an annuity and I go over all of its benefits. But the one of sharing with him, if he has the lifetime income benefit rider, that he literally could outlive the balance. He could have a zero balance and still draw income because the benefit is what? Lifetime. And these people love that. Sustainable lifetime income. Yet the very guy or gal that sold that lifetime sustainable income pitch to the person who bought it has never really thought that way in their marketing and their prospecting. They've never thought, hey, I've generated an ongoing, repetitive lead generation prospecting machine or an engine that's getting me qualified prospects on a regular basis that's raising up the amount of people I can see per week, which will enhance my ROI, my results, and the dreams that I have that cost financially that I can do that with. And I just want you to think about that because, like I said, we put so much stock into knowledge, but if we're not generating interest and doing activities for the public to understand, to get interested in, then they're not going to give up their precious commodity of time that they can never get back to want to meet with us. But if we can generate enough interest on the front end, we'll get the appointments and we'll get them as clients. So with that, Curtis, again, pal, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank all of you guys. We are so excited to be starting to working with IAMS and the great people there. And I hope you guys that are listening realize that I'm simply a simple position player here trying to create more value through the great company of IAMS to you guys. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye and I'll leave it with you, Curtis.
Jim, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking the time with us today. And for everyone on the call today, again, we think there's a huge opportunity with the Society of Financial Awareness. So if you want to reach out to them, or certainly give your sales directors a call. We actually have an expanded guide that talks about additional ways, or I guess all of the ways that you can utilize this and market it within your business. Again, the phone number is 800-255-5055, and I appreciate everybody taking time out of their day to be with us. Thank you.